Hello, welcome to the Genji Investing. On April 22, 2022, the Malaysian ringgit fell below 4 by 3 ringgit against the US dollar. Not only did the ringgit fall, the US S&P 500 index also fell by nearly 3% on the day. This kind of decline is quite serious in the index, and it also proves that people left confident in the market is still not that good. I believe that the first thing that most people think of when they see this kind of news in the various news on Facebook, the ringgit keep going down and the price go up and down as well. You can hear a lot of people screaming about the price of goods and also blaming other people for. So, if you go to the comment section, we will find that most of the people in and it run to blame the government, the country, and also the finance minister. Of course, this kind of situation is normal on the Facebook, but basically, as long as you see unfavorable news from any country, someone will come out and say that's because of improper government management. However, the question is this only the ringgit in the world that has fallen against the US dollar? Will there be other currency be affected as well? So, let's run to see how other countries compare to the US dollar and then look back at Malaysia. First of all, let's look at the world's strongest currency, the Japanese yen JPY, to compare to the US dollar to the US dollar. So we can see for the trading view that the yen has depreciated by nearly 12% in just 2 months, which is nothing compared to the depreciation of the ringgit by less than 4% in also 2 months. So the question is, why did the ringgit and yen suddenly depreciate so badly? In fact, the most fundamental reason for this problem is that the United States decided in March to raise the interest rate all the way from 2022 to 2023 to fight against inflation. We can see for the data that the inflation rate in the United States this year in 2022 has reached an outrageous of 8.5%, which is more than the double compared to 4.2% when the epidemic was the worst in 2021. When the inflation rate of the United States rises dramatically, the more affected country in the world can reach 8.5%. The inflation rate of the country that depend on the US dollar in the world, especially Japan and our Malaysia, will definitely not be lower than 8.5% inflation rate. You should be noticed that the price of all kinds of items that has risen recently, whether you go to the mall or go to the restaurant to buy things. Let me take the simple example. Now, when I go to eat a normal bowl of a noodle, which is basically 8 ringgit, compared to the few years ago, a bowl of noodle was basically not more than 6 ringgit. You can see that the price of even the most basic food had managed to increase by over 20% in just a few years. So, there's one more major question. Why did the yen suddenly depreciate so much within a short period of time? Isn't it? This is because Japan itself is too dependent on the United States. Once the United States start to raise the interest rate, a large amount of funds will be withdrawn from Japan to the United States because of putting funds in the United States can earn a highest interest rate compared to the negative interest rate in Japan. Whereas wealth in the United States can also withdraw from various Japanese assets such as stock, real estate, and bond at this time. When the funds are withdrawn from this asset, the price of this asset will fall all the way down and the Japanese people themselves will suffer various economic losses one and after another. The situation in Malaysia is similar to that in Japan, but the good thing is about Malaysia is that Malaysia itself is not as overly dependent on the United States as Japan. At present, Malaysia OPR, which we call overnight policy rate, remain at 1.75%, unlike Japan, which has implemented a negative 0.1% interest rate since 2016. We can understand that Japan negative interest rate in this way. When we deposit 100 Rand in the bank for a year, we not only do not get any extra interest, but we also lose part of the interest. It's because of this reason that the inflation rate in Japan cannot more than 1%, which will lead to the inability of Japan economy to develop more efficiently because people are not willing to put their money into the local market for investment and deposit. So, in the long-term perspective, US dollar USD will keep appreciate against Malaysian ringgit and Japanese yen. This is because more money will flow into US, people will be more likely to invest into the US stock. So when the more people invest in the US stock market, the price of the stock will eventually rise, creating the most longer bull market on the history. Therefore, from the above data, the devaluation of the ringgit seems to be inevitable. As ordinary people, how can we protect our asset? So in my own imperfect opinion, the most effective way to preserve our personal asset and the best investment is Bitcoin. Bitcoin also known as digital coin, so I will explain in the future video why I think that Bitcoin will be our lifetime best and the safer asset.